Now you're in a hurry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Schultz in 1990, I did the preemption bill in Iowa, and what it meant, and I believed in it, in preemption. This takes a different spin, and you know, I believe that we can't have gun regulations from community to community, and that's why I agreed to that in the gun bill in 1990. I'm sure I would think, because you know the steps that you're taking, you have to know what the cost is to this. Mr. Chair, with the Senator Gill.
Senator Schultz? Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have a fiscal note on this bill?
No, the cost is zero for allowing law-abiding citizens to exercise their Second
No, Senator, the cost is not zero. So let's don't get on the rhetoric of a pro-gun bumper sticker.
That's not rhetoric, we're a bumper sticker.
That is rhetoric, because to say that it costs zero says that you agree with me. If you agree with me, it costs you nothing, but if you disagree with me, it costs you millions. That's what this bill says.
I disagree with you.
Well, I don't know how you disagree, because it says in the bill, or at least my description of the bill, it says you can have a gun-free facility, but you must have checkpoints, you must have one, you must have security, you must. Must is not an option, and to say this is just an innocuous free bill is wrong, because this is where we have problems in understanding mutually where we come from. Now, you have small communities that make up your district. I have Des Moines, which makes up Polk County, and Des Moines alone has 25 buildings. Now, I wouldn't think by your district has 25 public buildings. But then you take in the library buildings, you take in all the county buildings, you take in the senior citizen meal sites, you take in all the services buildings that we have. Because we say we don't want weapons and a supplemental foods facility, that costs us money. For you to say it doesn't cost anything, it only costs nothing if I agree with you. You agree with that?
No, I do not, because you're currently already maintaining the same, when you put a sign up on the wall that says no guns, you are not stopping somebody from walking in there with a firearm. Somebody who has bad intent. All you're doing is stopping the law-abiding citizen from going in and exercising their Second Amendment right and the ability to defend themselves or their family in that building. The bill, finally, because I think this is how it should have been from the beginning, the bill simply says if you are going to suspend somebody's constitutional, God-given right, you then, and that would be the building or the local subdivision, you then must take on the responsibility of protecting that person because you've denied them the right to protect themselves. If you're going to do that, you need to ensure that somebody else does not have a firearm in there, and that takes a metal detector and personnel. And you also need to provide the means to protect that person proactively, which means armed security, who's going to step in front and put an end to that threat. So all this says is that if you're actually going to have a gun-free zone, because a sign is not a gun-free zone, it's only a bad guys have guns zone, if you're going to do that, you have to actually take the steps necessary to protect the citizen who was given the right to protect themselves, but you've denied it. If you allow them to do it, it's a cost of zero.
Thank you, Senator. Wow, this thing just has a natural way of going in a circle. Any argument on this goes in a circle. And, you know, I was never born nor raised in a small community, but I think I'm from a small community by the neighborhoods that we belong to. We're all identified. I'm a Southsider, you know, Janice and Beaverdale. I mean, we all have, it's not separate towns, but they're little communities. And I don't want to make every single building in this community that's public where our children go, that I'm trying to, and in the future with my grandson, raise, that people are basically good. That people are basically good. And then you have situations in a democracy and in a free country. But to have lockdowns on every governmental facility because they choose not to just allow weapons, and you say that law-abiding citizens are the ones that would go in, the bad guy. Well, the bad guy ain't the bad guy until he does something bad. I think that we are making our communities frightful for our kids. I don't see the incidents that is a groundswell of public tragedies in public buildings. They happen. But to say, and I agree, I understand preemption, and I wish you were here in 1990 to help me with that bill, but there's other things in the bill that the NRA agreed to they won't agree to today. I oppose the bill because I think what you're saying, that it's easy to just let everybody carry a gun, makes it cheap and innocuous, and I think that's wrong, because if you're going to give me a choice, then the choice has ought to be fair and reasonable, and this is not fair nor reasonable, and the cost, and not that you care, which you should. I mean, I listen to all the rhetoric in this place on a regular basis about property tax relief and property tax payers, and we can't trust local governments, and on and on and on. And this is one where you have local government you don't trust, and we're not making our community any safer either way. Senator, I bet you either way, those that carry in and those that don't, there's one incident between them. It happens. This is punitive, and I wish this legislature would finally have some respect for local government. Have some respect and quit giving us the side talk that you're doing all these wonderful things for local government and property taxes to help them when you take every authority they have away, and then you give them an option. If they'd like a community to go on the way it is, the way they're running it, they say no weapons in this public building, that building, you know, then without this damaging piece, it wouldn't cost us anything. But to say that to comply is zero, it's just your lack of cooperation to our thinking is going to cost you millions. That's wrong. I've never had the opportunity to just pluck out a city in your district and just destroy it. I don't have that power option. But I watch this party, this Republican Party, picket Des Moines like it's the last piece of bread on earth for the birds. And I don't know why. I don't know why you hate the city of Des Moines when it supplies so much of the state, which is the heart. But every chance you get, you find some way to hurt this community. And you do it with pleasure. I believe that. Go home and run against Des Moines full time. It's about time you respect local officials, our officials. I resent that you don't respect my city council and my school board. I don't know how you call them friends, but you do. I never had a friend that didn't trust me, but you got a lot of them. I would ask the body to vote no, rethink this bill, because this is not a fair option for anybody. I got a gun to your head, pardon the pun, and say you go left or you die. This is how we're going to do this. So you don't have to risk anything, just go left. That's what it says. That's not a choice. I mean, that's not fair. And I agree with a lot of gun legislation with the Second Amendment. But is it ever going to end? Because every rock is turned over to find one more thing that we have to do a bill on to load up. And I don't get this, why Iowa's turning into this gunslinging mentality state.
We have a Second Amendment right. Everybody I know wants to carry a gun and carries one. A lot of people have guns I don't like and shouldn't have a gun. But that's what we have police for. That's what we have law enforcement for, not the Iowa legislature. So with that, Mr. Chair, I find this bill absolutely ridiculous because it doesn't give cities or communities the option. Thank you.
So what are you gonna do to protect me, since you're not going to allow me to protect myself? So what's your solution? How do you protect me under your approach to this?
Well, Senator, I don't think it's the supplemental foods or it's the senior meal site has a direct responsibility to give you security. They set their facility up with supervisors, just like anywhere you go. I don't go anywhere on a Saturday to do my errands with the intent that the woman at Victoria's Secrets is carrying a gun. I don't go to a mall to shop, and I expect people to be armed in there waiting to kill somebody. I think we have a good society, and your mentality is trying to take me to a darker place than I want to think that we live in. Now, that's what the police are for. That's why we hooked up and spent money on 911 to do it even faster. We've done everything we should do to have our police ready, armed, and able to respond to incidents. I don't think it's society's responsibility to guarantee that you never will come across violence. When I go to the bank, I don't look at everybody walking in as the bank robber. You know, I walk around a corner, I don't expect to get mugged. It happens, but we have things in place that protect you. That's what we're funding. That's what the laws are supposed to be for, is to give the law enforcement everything they need, every tool. You want from me an answer to say, I will protect you everywhere in every situation, and I don't think, even with all the good guys with guns, we're going to stop bad situations. Anybody that does, please, make me feel better about society. But freak things, mass murder, accidents, all kinds of things will happen. And I don't think we can protect you from everything that you said. But I don't feel unprotected driving here today and going through this building that there's guns in this building. I'm okay.
Okay, well, thank you, and I think you've made my point. You're saying, well, that's just tough.
Any other questions? Senator Bisignano, in order.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I expected to hear what I heard, Senator. I agree that you have the right to think the way you think, but I don't agree with anything you think about. Here's the most profound piece in everything with guns, weapons in this state. You've turned over every nook and cranny to figure out how you can get another gun in place, in another way. But I have not seen one proposal by any of you, the Republican side, the majority side, deciding to be pushing that piece in front of us today. Senator Schultz, you?
Senator Schultz, did you yield?
Yes, I will.
Senator, tell me the law that requires proficiency to own a gun. There isn't one. Okay, so
That would be an unconstitutional mandate.
there we go, unconstitutional mandate. To know how to operate a killing machine. It's my constitutional right to be stupid enough to buy a gun, carry it everywhere I want to go once I get my permit to carry it, correct?
Are we still open?
Yeah, we're
That it's an inanimate tool. It's not a killing machine.
Okay,
It's
we
no
can
will of its own.
get back to the.
No, but it is, that's our fundamental difference, is that you have no faith, no trust, no consideration for the citizen to take it upon himself to know what he's going to do. You cannot force a mandate on a constitutional right. Otherwise, it's not a right, then it's a test and permission being required.
Well, I think there's a certain limitation on the First Amendment. You agree?
I'm a pretty open free speech person, so I'm not sure.
Well, there's certain things you can't say. Okay, I could say some things right now, and I can tell you the Secret Service will be in here in a matter of an hour. I can't say it, but you're sitting here trying to convince me, and Senator Chapman talking about the people's building, the people's right. Well, I know a lot of people that don't agree. So do we need to have a local vote? Do we need to let the people decide? I mean, I will be open to your response.
You need a federal constitutional amendment to change the Second Amendment. Because right now we live under a document that regulates the framework of America that says that the citizen has the right to keep and bear arms. Both of them, keep and to bear.
And then everything else after that's interpretation. Correct?
I don't know about the
People have the right to keep and bear arms, so what do we got a bill here for then? If it's clear from the federal level, from the Constitution, the people have the right to keep and bear arms, why are we here with this bill?
We're here because subdivisions keep breaking the law and we have to keep changing the law to try to stop them. They are infringing on the right. We're here to stop political, and I'll call it here for what it is, the political machine of Des Moines and our other metros, the Democratic machine that keeps trying to control the citizens. We represent those citizens of Des Moines who want to be free Americans.
So now we kind of get it all out there.
There we go.
Yeah, okay, so Des Moines is an ugly place to be because they're Democrats and they're infringing on the rights of people, and you have flown in to save Iowa. You've come here to save Iowa from Des Moines, Polk County.
We're here to do the fundamental purpose of government, which is to protect and preserve rights of the citizen.
In your opinion.
That's pretty fundamental. That's not my opinion. That's the purpose of government.
Are we doing that here?
Yes.
Are we protecting people with this bill, with the financial instability that local communities have? Are we protecting them with this bill?
There's not one dime of cost to this.
Well, we're going to go back to the rhetoric argument again, because we're never going to get off the circle. It's a circle in this argument that goes around and around and around. Bottom line is, you are deciding what my community does or doesn't do with an economic penalty if they don't. So don't say there's no cost, don't say it's free choice, none of that is. And I can tell you, if you're afraid of anything, it's not just a crazy person out there, it's somebody with a gun with no proficiency. We used to have that. We used to have proficiency training. That became too cumbersome to know how to fire a weapon. And yeah, the weapon doesn't get out of the drawer and shoot and kill somebody on its own. I know that argument. But in the hands of someone who knows nothing about it, that ought to be our first priority. The more weapons we're putting out there in society, why aren't we making them be proficient? Hit the target. Who are you afraid of more? Some goofball who comes into a quick trip? Or the three people in there with guns who are going to pull theirs out and never shot him before? Who do you feel more threatened by at that point? I know what the idiot's doing. He's coming in for the money. Pretty easy. He's coming in the door and he wants money. I don't know you. You could be my reverend, and he could be my lawyer, and you could be Mother Teresa. Doesn't matter. You all three got guns. This guy comes in, he knows what he's doing. He's going for the money. Might not be a great shot, but I'm going to be standing 2 feet in front of you. But then I got a guy in the back, I got Mother Teresa over on the other side, and I got my reverend standing in a corner, and all at once fire breaks out. Who are you more afraid of at that point? I'm afraid of all of them. I'm afraid of all of them. Because there's 3 more weapons in that place that wouldn't be there. The guy could prohibit, or government building could prohibit. So when you talk about self-defense or people defending you, I've never gone anywhere in my life where I expected you to defend me. Okay? If I felt threatened, I got out, or I came in and I took care of my own business. So I'm not going looking for all these Andy Oakleys and Roy Rogers out there to save the day. You got self-awareness, and then accidents happen and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. But people that can't shoot a weapon should not be able to have one, and you can say that's the Constitution. You got the right to just buy one. Buy it and carry it. You don't know a damn thing about using it. That's the biggest joke of all this. That's what I'd like to see, some proficiency. Then I say, hey, you know what? I go into that store. These people know how to shoot. They know how to shoot. They took a certain test. They reached the bare minimum. But now I go in, there's probably a hell of a lot of guns in there. I would hope there isn't a robber for the sake of the robber and myself. Because he's the only one that knows what he's doing in the store. And I know what I'm doing once it breaks out. And every good guy with a gun doesn't have guts. Guts doesn't come with a gun. Okay? Guts comes with guts. You either got it or you don't. So you can have a gun, and as soon as you see a gun, you kind of freak out and freeze. Well, that takes you off the table. This is my self-defense. So I don't know why we feel so good to know that there's so many guns when most of the people with them can't shoot them. That's my point. Proficiency should be the hallmark of gun ownership. But yet we've taken it out of the law and thrown it in the garbage and said we can't do it because constitutionally he's protected to be stupid. We're going to protect his right to be stupid with a firearm. And I don't get it. Thank you, Mr.